Okay, welcome to the full-length version of the Parade Volt testing video. The short is, just to show the basics. But here we are showing this unit. We took all the covers off and we are doing a slow cool down. So we slowly warm them up and then we slowly cool them down to not shock the unit, so they kind of experience the same type of behavior as they do in the bus. Okay, we can see this unit does not have a lot of play, very little. And it's running nice and smooth. We can see that the output is stopped. Everything is torqued and sealed. Okay. This is after the main test, so you can clearly see. All right. There's no leakage of any kind. We filled this plug in because you only need to check from this plug. The fluid level should be at the bottom of this plug. All right. And we'll torque seal this one once we remove the fluid that's in there now. This is a testing fluid. It's a little bit thinner than what you're going to use, and that way we can easily identify any leaks. All right, and we don't have any, so looking good. Good unit there, ready to go to the customer. And while the clutch is not actuated, we'll go ahead and disconnect this so we can show the condition that the connector is in. We can show, you see some silicone above there. We put that so that when you pressure wash, or if ever it starts to seep, which is kind of a common occurrence as they get older. Ours should not seep for a long time, but just in case a small seepage the manufacturer says is acceptable, you just have to be maintaining your level. Okay, you can see everything is rolling nice and steady, nice and straight. We have a good air gap there. It's not too large. We're going to go ahead and actuate it. Sorry if I was covering the microphone, but there's a shot at the connector. You can see we're using the same connector as you would on the bus. So we hook up to it there. Okay, there's the coil serial number. If we can catch that on camera, it would be lovely. Okay, and the gearbox serial number, and we have our serial number within the unit in a few places. Just keeps everybody honest. We've not all customers would do this type of thing, but some do. They swap parts around and then say, "Oh, you sent us a bad unit." So we don't play around with that stuff. All right, everything is serialized to make sure if it is a problem, it is something that we caused, and we will take care of it for you. All right, I can't say we've never had one come back, but it's very, very, very rare. All right, so now we're down to 140. Let's go ahead and run some actuation tests, or actually, let's go ahead and run the ohm test before we turn it on. So let's shut the power off. And now that we're cooling down, so we had our hot ohm readings there. Everything was stable on the amperage and the wattage. Okay, we ran a peak of about 200 degrees, 1 hour low speed, 1 hour high speed, 30 minutes and off, which is what you see here. All right, and then the cold ohm values, we got the cold ohm values there as 12.7 and 33.8. We got our hot ohm values. They're not written here, but we got them over here. Okay, leak test cold and hot. We listened to it with a stethoscope, which is this guy right here, just to be able to hear the gearbox in multiple places where all the main bearings are when it was running cold and when it was running hot. No abnormal noises. All the threads on the case have been chased, plugs as well. Everything is inspected and sealed so that it is not to be opened. Do not disassemble the unit for any reason. Okay, contact us if you have an issue. You can see those threads. It's the same on the bottom side where it's mounted. Okay, this is for the thermocouple. You can see it's mounted to the table there. It's a very nice unit, very well built, very carefully put together. And like I said, we have the testing oil in it right now that we're going to drain. So when you get it, you're just going to fill up with the oil we give you. Let me show you what the bottle is going to look like. Hang on one sec. So you'll receive a full bottle like this, okay? It'll be a red colored oil. That's what you're gonna fill it up to the mark with, right there. Okay, it's gonna arrive in a crate where you're gonna remove the top half of the foam, and you're gonna take this unit out. You're gonna put the other unit in the same way. There may be a foam bumper that's on the coil. Please transfer that over to the core unit so that it's not damaged in shipping, and send it on back to us, all right? And we'll get you the core refund. All right, so here's that ohm test. Let's go ahead and switch over here. Here's the other coil. So we tested both. Looking good on the cool down as well. And now let's go ahead and shut this off. Put the power back on. And now we're going to look here. We're supplying 27 volts. And we're going to go to the low speed actuation. Keep in mind we're running about 1200 RPM, which I can actually verify for you. Because I actually had someone ask me a question about that. Well, how do I know that you're really running 1200 RPM? Well, here's a photo tach. There we go. You gotta get it held just right, but there we go. See, just about 1260 unloaded, okay? And then when we load it, we'll probably lose about 20 RPM. So let's go ahead and load it now. All right, so we're gonna go to low speed, and you can listen to the actuation. Very nice, clean, crisp actuation. No oil in there. We've already broken in the plates. Now let's go up to the high speed, and you'll see this gap disappear. There we go. Very nice, clean actuation. And then let's go to off, and you can watch it spin down and stop. Very important. People call these 2-speed fan clutches, but we really consider them 3-speed fan clutches. That stop is so important to the ECM and the after treatment system, and a lot of people neglect that. They'll say, oh, my fan clutch is fine, yeah, it leaks a little bit, but then they have all these after treatment codes and they wonder why. This is a part of the problem. If this output does not stop, this is one control that the ECM no longer has, and is a very big problem with these units. So a part of the upgrades that we do is to allow a nice spin down and stop, and to prevent it from turning when you don't want it to turn. All right, so here we go. Good unit, ready to go to the customer. It's just going to be boxed up. The customer has been really patient on waiting on this one, which we really appreciate, because we like to do this kind of work for the customer so that they're very pleased with what they get. All right, so let's take a look at the gauge here. There's low speed, little over half an amp, about 17 and a half, little more wattage. Okay, now let's go up to high. You'll see we're a little over 1.5 amp, about 45 watts. These are good, stable numbers, what we're used to seeing on many of these coils. The coil is not covered by the warranty. However, we source only the best ones for our rebuilds. And what we do is we go over it, we clean the connectors out really nicely. We make sure there's no fretting on the pins. We test it with the same type of connector you have. We also use a thermally conducting epoxy. If there's any little cracking in the potting, we clean it out, and then we reseal that. All right, there's some other people out there that are trying to do what they call remands, but they're just spray painting it and selling it, you know, dirt cheap, with just throwing some cheap bearings in it. But I mean, we can do that and get away with it all day long and still offer a 1-year warranty. However, you know, will it last 2 years? Realistically, we could quite possibly offer a 2-year extended warranty agreement for some customers if they would like that, and sleep perfectly well at night, because we know the type of build that we're doing, and we've identified the failure points from the manufacturer and the failures in the original assembly line, and we've corrected all those things with the way that we put these together. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for your interest. If you want to purchase another unit, go ahead and jump on the website, pravolte.com, or go ahead and give us a call. We'll be happy to help you. Thank you to Rivero Car Center, Josniel over there, who was very patient in waiting to get this clutch. Very good man. And we thank him for his business, and we thank anybody who's interested. Call us, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks again. Take care.